Yo. Once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Kens TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, before we get into this afternoon story, if you will, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know your city, your state, your hood, your set, whatever it may be that you're representing. And let us know if you're the man or the woman that you say you be. You know, I read every single comment that I get, and I try my best to respond to every single comment. Sometimes I get a day or two behind, but I always go back and make sure that I respond. I have people that have been following me from the very, very beginning, almost 2.5 years ago. And I very rarely, how can I put this? Block anybody from my channel because I'm not a yes person type of individual. I got people that tell me, Kens, man, I rock with you, man. You the realest channel. And then the next day they may say, hey, bruh, you on some BS. And that's cool. I don't have to be right every time. Everybody doesn't do that. But even if you do, that's your right. That's your, like Curtis. Curtis is one of my biggest, probably my biggest trolls. But Curtis been rocking with me from day one. So when he expresses his opinion, and if it's something that I don't necessarily agree with, or if it's something that I don't necessarily take too kindly, I don't block him because I need to hear this constructive criticism. You see what I'm saying? I never want to have people that are around me as yes people. Everybody that follows me, I consider you all my friends. So if you say, hey, Kens, man, I normally rock with you, but you was on some BS. Guess what? I may not even agree, and sometimes I may agree. I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to come back and say anything rude to you. You give me your opinion. Sometimes I may give you my opinion back. But I got this individual, @HEMAN, @HEMAN. I guess it's @HeMan. I guess that's what he's dash E1H dash, not underscore, dash E as in elephant, 1, the number 1, H as in homophobic. @HeMan, HEMAN, dash E as in elephant, 1, the number 1, H, the letter H as in homophobic. And I'm reading, I rarely get trolled. I guess that's one of the, I don't know, that's a benefit in a sense. I rarely get trolled, but if I do, cool, that just comes along with the business. No big deal. And he leaves me a message, and he's talking about how, correctional officers come in and they're simply just doing their job, and how I never glorify the good correctional officers. I'm just simply talking about correctional officers in general. If you don't want to be treated this way, don't come to prison. I get that. Wholeheartedly agree. Prison's not a vacation. It's not a resort. You're going to be mistreated. You're going to be talked to crazy. You're going to be tested. You're going to be... And in certain situations, or a lot of situations, is going to go to the extreme as far as the inmates are concerned, if you will. But I'm listening to this, I'm reading this message that he left, and it seems like that this individual was really, really in his or her feelings. I'm assuming it's a he man, but it could be a she, but I'm going to just, because I don't know, I'm going to say he was really, really in his feelings. Some of us just go and we adhere to the rules and then we go home. What's the problem with that? What makes us bad people? And I'm really, really trying to dissect the message. I don't want to just come out and just be impulsive but let me tell you what makes you bitches the bad people. Let me tell you what makes you bitch motherfuckers the bad people. You're working for the Department of Corrections. The organization in itself is corrupt. Same way the police department is. Are there some good cops? Absolutely. Are there some good, great correctional officers? Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you never talk about the good ones. Man, I've talked about the good ones. Have you watched all my videos? Because apparently, if you've never watched all of my videos, then you're saying what you're saying, not knowing the notoriety, the truth that I've really given. I've talked about people such as Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was a CO. It was at a minimum security prison. Justin Bieber, man, he just came to get his check and went home. Didn't give a damn. On Saturdays, he worked more than Saturdays, obviously, but on Saturdays, he would work the dorm, and I can say this now because the dorm has been condemned and shut down, which should have been years ago. But he worked at a dorm that was closest to the highway. Now, this is minimum security, so there's no fence. Since I don't talk about good COs, which I've already told this story, but guess what? I'm going to touch upon it once again. At He-Man -E1H. On Saturdays, 9 times out of 10, Justin Bieber was going to be working this dorm. I believe it was called C1. Could be wrong. It was C1 or C2. But let's just, we're going to name it C1 today. And it was closest to the highway. Justin Bieber was the coolest dude, man. I don't even know really why they called it. Well, his first name was Justin. So I guess people was like, in prison, everybody has a nickname in prison. So they deemed him as Justin Bieber. Man, this dude was cool. I'm talking about he was probably no more than 23, 24 years old. All he wanted to do was get a paycheck. Never wrote nobody up. Never. He was so cool to where if an inmate jumped on him, you probably gonna have 4 or 5 inmates that come to his rescue and beat the individual up that jumped on him. That's how cool he was, man. Some people will say, he can't be that cool because they tell him to put cuffs on you and lock you up and take you to the whole way. He has to follow his what the people tell him to do. But he's not trying to make your life harder. This dude, man, didn't give a fuck. Just respect me and my shift so that I don't get in trouble. Other than that, man, I'm not writing nobody up. They make me do a certain amount of pat downs, shake downs during my shift. I'm going to come to you, hey, kids. I got to do my shakedown. No problem. He was so cool. No problem, man. Put my hands behind my back. He puts the cuffs on you as gently as he can because they cuff you when they do a shakedown and sit you in a chair because of the cameras. It's camera purposes. He's going to go through and act as though he's really, really going through your stuff. He don't give a fuck. He don't care if he find a motherfucking kilo in your locker. He going to act as though he didn't see it, but he's just doing it for the camera. 2, 3, 4 minutes, he's going to come back, uncuff you, and go to the next. Or proceed on with his shift. That's how cool this dude was, man. Well, on Saturdays, like I said, people knew, or Sundays, they knew that he was working. That's the lax days in prison. Visitation, 9 to 3, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. And then you got certain days like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, the 4th of July. You got special holidays. But every single weekend, he was guaranteed to be working the dorm. C1. They had a runner. You find your runner that's like a dude that's just fast, athletic, that can just run to the highway. Again, this was the last dorm, because I'm trying to paint a picture for you all. A prison looks like a college campus. That's really, really what it reminds you of. Well, C1 was like a dorm. Well, it was a dorm. It wasn't like a dorm. It was a dorm, and it was closest to the highway, but it was at least a mile away from the highway. People would have people drive to a certain mile marker, take a bag, throw it, or place it, whatever they do, and then they go on. It's a black bag so you can see it. You get you a runner that's fast. He's running to the highway. He's running to that specific mile marker. He's going to retrieve this bag. Now, this bag that they're retrieving is going to have weed. It's going to have, I don't know, a few cell phones, 4, 5, 6 cell phones in them. It's going to have the K2. Y'all don't know what K2 is, Google it. That's Spice, that's Spiggity, that Toy Tiger, whatever you all may call it in your different city, town, state. In Kentucky, we call it that Spice, that Spig. People would often smoke the Spice because it didn't show up on the drug test at the time. People would say that the Spice was like smoking an incense. I don't know. I don't smoke. Never have. So I really don't know, but I can just go off of what people say. They get that bag. The individual that runs and gets the bag, he gets his cut, whatever the negotiations were. Takes the bag into the dorm. Individual that called the shots as far as having the drop off gets his cut, passes it along to the individual that's going to be the mule that holds it. So that when they come to you, somebody snitches, you don't have anything on you. You got this other individual, 2, 3, 4 other individuals that's holding it. So they never catch you up. And they're not going to be holding it long because it's going just like that. See, in prison, man, spice, weed, alcohol, all of that. People's looking for ways to, you're locked up. You're away from your family. I'm not condoning the behavior. I'm just simply giving you the real. If it's a small order, $20, $30, give me some commissary. Give me some banquet chicken, some chicken strips, some chicken tenders, some burgers. They sell burgers, the patties. It's like 16 patties in a box for $15. Give me the high-priced, high-ticketed items on commissary. But for the higher items, you want $100 worth of spice, weed, whatever. Well, guess what? You got to send me a money order. Or you got to do what's called green dot. The green dot card. That was before Cash App. Before Cash App, you go to the Walgreens or Walmarts or whatever and get you I think you pay like $4 or $5 for the green dot card, and people could load money onto it. So if I say you $150 worth of spice, right? Well, you didn't talk to your girl on visitation, or you got a cell phone. Hey, baby, here's the account number to this green dot card. Send 150. They send it. You get verification, whether you got a phone or your girl tells you everything is good, whatever, over the phone. But you say very, very little over the phone. Whatever the case may be, you're able to verify that 150 is on your account, and you give it to the person. Spice is real, real big in prison back then. Take the chapstick, right? You all know what the little chapstick containers, if you will, come in. You take the cap, pack it down with and I don't necessarily want to say you pack it down, but you fill it up with the spice, the spig. It's $100. This was back then. Ain't no telling what it is now. Looks like seasoning, oregano, food seasoning, $100. You getting $100 a cap, man. You probably ain't really paid nothing because your peoples are looking out for you. They send you a whole ounce in there for nothing. They dropping it for nothing. You might have to drop 50, 60 bucks. But you making $100 per cap. Cell phones is going for $500 on the low. If somebody knows you and really fools with you, $750. They don't, $1,500, $1,200. All of this money you making on a drop off, you breaking the people off that's dropping it off to you. Sometimes you don't even got to break them off depending on who they are, how close. See, when I did, let's rewind it. I never done anything like that, and never would, and don't recommend anyone to do anything of the sorts. But some people got people that are really, really cool, and they're not charging him anything, or them anything. Or you may be like, man, I give you $100, man. But you're gonna make so much more money. So by the time you get, you're able to pay bills from being locked in a penitentiary. You're paying bills because everything is on this green dot card. It's literally like a debit card. And you making all of this money every single week. I done seen dudes run their money up to, I don't know exactly what they had, but I done seen a dude make 20 bands probably in a month and a half. Eventually, he didn't end up getting caught, but the administration caught wind to him. They couldn't catch him with anything because he never had anything on him. So guess what they do? They administrate him out of there, meaning an administrative transfer. They don't have to have a reason. You don't have to have a write-up or anything. You just, we're going to get you out of here. Now they send him to the sticks, Bell County. They send him to the woods where they fight forest fires. But a true hustler's going to figure out wherever he goes. But I done seen dudes really, really make some money, man. Some dudes smoke that weed in prison because they don't give a fuck. It's like, shit, I ain't. That spice, man, is like, it makes you hallucinate. Some people don't fool with it. You got some people that take their chances and smoke the weed. Some people, they got life sentences, or it's going to be a long, long, long time before they even remotely have a chance of going home. So you think they give a damn about a dirty urine? It just depends on the individual. Phone calls are $2 a call, and that's if you local, and you only get 15 minutes. So you think if a dude has an opportunity to get a cell phone in prison, he ain't going to take it? That's just what it is. Justin Bieber was just one of them type of people, man. He knew what was going on. He didn't care, man. Justin Bieber would go to the front of the dorm every week, knowing what was going to happen. He'd go to the front of the dorm. The dorm held maybe 40 people. You got a basement, you got a middle floor, and you got upstairs. 40 to 50 people in the dorm. When he would go outside, he would just be kicking and talking to the inmates. They got tables set up outside. Dudes outside playing chess. They got a basketball goal. That's just one part of the prison. You walk up, you got the next dorm, which is C2. They got the same. You walk all the way up, you got the chow hall. Then they got they got an outside weight pile. They got an outside workout track or a section to where you do your calisthenics, pull-ups, push-ups, and dips. They got a little track you can walk. You walk up some more, is another dorm on the right-hand side, another dorm on the left-hand side. You continue to walk, it's visitation. You got another dorm on the left-hand side. So, it's a big, big area. Like I said, it's like a college campus. He know what was going on. But he's not tripping. He don't care. Just don't cost him his job. Dudes is going to get this money, man. Coolest CEO. He ended up getting fired because when you working in the Department of Corrections or the jail, whatever the case may be, if you're not a jerk like the majority of them are, they don't want you working there. They're going to use you as long as they can use you, but once they see that you're for the inmates, and they already know it before they let you go, but once they, until they can bring somebody else in, they're going to allow you to be who you are. Another individual named Martin. Martin worked at Blackburn. Coolest CEO. He's a black dude, man. Martin was, when I left, I've been home for 7 years. I came home from Blackburn. Only reason I'm really, really using his name and Justin Bieber's real name, because I knew Justin Bieber ended up getting fired. He ended up getting fired because the people said that he was close too close to the inmates or whatever, so they let him go. And then you got Martin. Martin had one write-up, man. Now, at the time that I left 7 years ago, Martin said that he had 4 years left. He was going to retire. He wasn't a sergeant. He wasn't a lieutenant. He just worked there. He was so cool with the inmates. He wasn't going to do anything illegal, but you respected him so much that you didn't even ask him to do anything, at least from what I know. Martin said he never wanted to move up because he wasn't one of those individuals who's going to be willing to write people up, to mistreat people simply because they were locked up. He came to work, did his 8 hours, 12 hours. Sometimes he might have to work a double 16 or whatever early on, and then he went home. He didn't bother nobody. He didn't do anything illegal. He didn't bother anybody. One write-up in all of those years. Got his 401k, had it maxed out, whatever, 12, 15%. Investing into his own future. And once he got his 20 years in, he was done. Man. Some people go 25, some people go 30. He wanted to do 20 years, he was done. I would talk to Martin often because I worked at R&D. R&D is where when you're in prison, that's where you go when you first arrive. You get your uniform, your blankets, your sheets, your pillows. Well, they don't give you pillows, but that's where you go if you have a problem. Something happens, you need some more boots or a different uniform or you need something sewed up, whatever the case may be, you go to R&D. Well, I worked at R&D right before I came home. Martin was on transport, meaning that taking people to court, taking people to the parole board, because you had to take people to the parole board, bring them back, whatever. And when he wasn't doing that, he would be in R&D. He didn't want to work on the yard. He wasn't on that old writing people up and mistreating people, and because he already seen what this was about. So when people say that I just continuously talk bad about COs, no, I don't. There's a lot of good COs that was just there to get their money, and I salute them. But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of them that just jerks, man. Simply because they can be. You got COs, and there's nothing wrong with it. You got COs that didn't graduate from high school. They got the GEDs, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But the reason for me saying that, like, you take your individual named Trotter. Trotter works in the Fayette County Detention Center. She's a straight bitch. Make you want to spit in her face if you see her. Of course, I would never do anything of the sorts. But I could understand why an individual would. I wouldn't encourage that. But if an individual did so, I would certainly understand the bitch. And she knows it. She'll tell you. It's not me disrespecting a fucker. But she'll say it herself. I done seen her talk dog crazy to inmates. Because she feels as though because she has this blue on, that a motherfucker won't lay hands on her, man. But she quickly learned. I don't believe in putting your hands on anybody, especially a woman. You're a man, don't put your hands on a woman. But let me tell you about this bitch. She was so nasty, man. She was one of the type of hoes that would come into the jail. She mad because her man at home wasn't listening to her, or she don't have a man at home, and would just take it out on the inmates like you don't even be doing nothing. Fayette County Detention Center, they have like intercom, so, and everything is see-through, everything is glass, plexiglass. So they're in their guards tower. You got 4 dorms downstairs, or 4 pods downstairs, 48 people, 40 to 48 people. You got 4 upstairs. She can see everything. Now, obviously, she can't see everything simultaneously, so she has to look around. And now, this guards tower that she's in, it has a wall that's about, let me see, I'm 5'11", so the wall's probably 5 foot high, 5.5 feet high. I'm not really 5'11", but at Real Kids TV, I'm 5'11", and so are you all. Y'all rock with me. There's no door, there's no anything. There's just stairs. You can literally walk into the... And this bride thought she was just really, really that. She did. I mean, she would just talk crazy to people for no reason. Threaten you with a write-up. Threaten to send you to the hole. Bitch, you can't give me no more time. The judge already gave me my time. You can make my time harder. But you can't give me... You can't stop at clock. There's two dudes that was arguing in the pod one day. Two men, you know, let them handle. They wasn't getting ready to fight. They was just arguing about. So she jumps on the intercom. She's telling them to both sit down. One of the dudes is like, man, nah, Miss Trotter, man, it's cool, man. We just, you know, we got it. We working it out. But she wants to overexert herself and her manliness. She's a woman, but she wants to be a man. She wants to be a man. I told you to sit down. I'm not trying to hear none of that. And Miss Trotter was, I'm not even going to call her Miss Trotter. I'm going to call her Trotter. And the bitch still works there. From my recollection. She was probably, I don't know. The bride looked 70. Wrinkles all in her face. You could tell that back in the day, she probably looked like something. She probably wasn't nothing but like 40 something at the time, but she looked like she was 70. You could tell she had a nice little body, but it didn't grew out of whack, out of proportion. It happens to everybody. Deep wrinkles on her face. She put all this makeup on, black hair. She's probably 5'5", 5'6". Been working at the jail at the time, 10, 11 years, so she had a little rank. You ever seen that movie Flowers in the Attic? She looked like the grandmother and Flowers of the Attic looking ass bitch. Probably won't get monetized for this video, but guess what? Real Kids TV, and I got to call a spade a spade. So I can say these things now. Could have said them when I was in there, but I was going to go to the hole forever. No matter what she said to you, you're not allowed to retaliate and say anything back. It's bride. Nobody liked her, man. It's crazy because you've seen glimpses of her like she could have been cool, man. It was times she didn't say nothing. She didn't say nothing. People just chilling out on rec, you know, because they let all the dorms out at the same time on rec, or maybe half the dorms out and you know, for a couple hours, then the next, you know, half comes out or whatever. She was cool sometimes, but then there would be times she would just be talking reckless and for no reason. She's talking to dude or whatever. You heard what I said? Sit on your bunk, punk. That's what she said to another grown man. He ain't even disrespected. What? You heard what I said? She's talking on the intercom. Sit on your bunk, punk. Well, I'm going to come up here. He's like, come on up here, bitch. Fuck you, bitch. She acts like she's walking up the stairs. Like she really, really gonna do something. Get beat to death. She calls the sergeant, not the sergeant, but shift command and the lieutenants and everything. I forgot what unit we were in. Let me see. I don't even remember. Let's just say BB. Because you got BB, AA, CC, DD, EE. You know, I don't know. Let's just say we was in BB. You talked all that shit. Now the dude, when a dude talks to you in the exact same manner that you talk to him, Signal 7 in Unit BB, Signal 7 in Unit BB. What you calling Signal 7 for? You was just talking all of this stuff to him first. Called him a little punk, little bitch. And he said the same thing back to you. Now it's Signal 7 in Unit BB, Signal 7 in Unit BB. Signal 7 for you other than not familiar means get here. Not now, but right now. Stop what you're doing and get here. Somebody's doing this distress. Somebody's doing something to an officer, or somebody's getting beat to death, or. And these are the type of military mind games that they play. So one would say with kids, if you know that they play these games, why fall for the games? I agree. I never really, well, I'm not going to say never, I rarely fell for the games, but you got to understand, man, you locked up. Away from your family. Probably been away from your family for a while. In certain cases, you're going to be away from your family for life. Because you're on your way to the joint. You got a life sentence, or you got 20, 30 years you got to do at 85%. Or you're going away for 10, 15 years, whatever the case may be. You don't got time for these weak-ass, soft-ass COs that's talking all this shit when you ain't really about that action. You ain't about that drama. Now, there's some that are. Let's not get it twisted. There's some that definitely is about that business. But see, those are the ones, they not tripping. They not talking crazy to you the way that people like Trotter are. Or McCracken. They got split upside his wig several times with a lunch tray. They're not talking reckless to you like that. But if you want it, let's get it. I ain't got to signal 7. No, I ain't gonna be no signal 7. Matter of fact, let me take my badge off. Let me take everything off. Let's get it. You got some that'll like it, and I respect them. But the majority's not. So when people send me these messages talking about you're talking about all COs are not the same, I never said that they were. It must be a guilt trip. It must be something that's in your mind, because I know I done seen some cool, man, I'm cool with some COs, man. Literally, I'm cool with some COs. Just doing their job. But they're not making your time harder. Well, come on, kids, you're not being fair. Don't go to prison. Don't go to jail. Man, don't do a lot of things. If God said don't never sin, if you do, you're going to jail. Everybody. Not you, not me, not just everybody will be in jail. But see, locking people up is a business. Now, I'm not speaking about the people that's doing things. It's kids, elderly people, robbing people, stealing people, or hurting people, rather. Shooting people. You know, I'm not talking about those sort of individuals. But for the individuals that's, okay, you may have broken the law and you need to be punished. There's for every action, there's a reaction, there's a consequence or whatever. So you got to go and do some time. But if I steal out of Walmart, I keep stealing out of Walmart, and every time I get caught, you're giving me 6 months. Is that not adequate enough? But nah, you want to send people to prison because it's a business. Keeping them beds filled is a business. Been saying it. Gonna continue to say it. It's a business. Locking people up. That's why I always say, when a judge says, I don't want to see you in my courtroom again, you're a liar. Truth of the matter, you need to see me in your courtroom again. You need to see somebody in your courtroom again. If everybody just miraculously stopped breaking the law, or 90% of the people stop breaking the law, guess what? We don't have a need for a prosecutor or a judge, or as many, rather. Maybe a couple, but as many? No, because nobody's doing anything wrong. They have to make, you got private prisons. Understand what that means? Means if I got enough money and I got a connection or two, I can go to my connect. Look, I got the funding. I got 40 million. We're going to start this prison. Holds 400 inmates, 500 inmates, 1,000 inmates. So we're going to lock people up, man. The state's going to pay us for it. Every inmate that's housed, the state's going to give us $100 a day. Don't know what the figures are now, but I'm just saying, you hold 1,000 people and they give you $100 a day per inmate. Y'all do the math on that. What's that, $100,000 a day? Yeah, sure, you got to pay your bills, your water, electric, cable, staff. But they're going to do the very, very least so that hundreds of thousands a day that they bringing in, they're trying to keep as much as that in his business. So I get it. Bringing in 100,000 a day, I don't want to spend 90 unless I just absolutely have to spend 90. But if I can get away with spending 75 or 80, 60, and the rest is profit, guess what? That's what I'm going to do. Not to mention the money that they make off of inmates on commissary, the outside deals that they have when they send inmates out in the community, giving them $25, $30 a month. But yet they're charging, for the contract, they're charging, for 10 workers, they're charging $20 an hour. $20 an hour. At 8 hours was at 160. You got 10 people, $1,600 a day. But you got 10 inmates going out there working, and you're paying them freaking in prison. If you make $5 a day, it's a great job. If you make $5 a day and you got 10 people, so you paying out $50 a day, but you bringing in $1,600 a day. $1,600 a day. Well, we got to send the officers out there. Them officers are gonna get paid regardless if they're out. See, that's the 57 fake out. Well, we got to send the officers. They're gonna send 2 officers out there with the inmates. Sometimes 1. It doesn't matter. They're gonna be on the yard anyway. They're already gonna get paid whatever they make anyway. These are the games that they play, man. Military mind games, man. This is what they play. Can't tell me about prison. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. Again, I don't know everything, but I know a lot. Lock people up because it's a business, man. So when I make these videos and I'm talking about correctional officers or police damn, it's reality. Police officer, I think, was in Colorado a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago, just shot a black man. Now, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to call a spade a spade. The black man should have retrieved. He shouldn't have been charging the police officer. He got his hands up. But on the flip side, the police officer, when the black man had his head turned, the police officer came up and mugged him in the back of the head like that. He was not even a threat to the police officer or nobody else. He was like arguing with somebody else, but the person that he was arguing wasn't even remotely close to him. So you put your hands on me, so now he goes into, okay, well, let's fight then, bitch. Let's fight. You can't win in this situation, but I'm just simply giving you all the synopsis, if you will, what happened. Let's fight then. He's walking towards a police officer, but very, very slowly. He's not rushing him. He's just very, very... Police officer's backing up. He's walking towards him. Never swung at the officer or anything. The dude stops in his track, like literally just stops. As soon as he stops, the officer, bam, 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 fires on him. Look it up, man. Just happened in Colorado. I believe it was Colorado. Well, guess what? They're going to clear that officer and say that he was justified in doing what he did. He was afraid for his life. I was afraid for my life. You hit that man. There was no confrontation whatsoever as far as physically. But you took it amongst yourself to like bolt him in the back of the head. So when the dude turned around trying to react, he didn't swing. Okay, come on. As though like he was saying, okay, come on, let's get it. Let's get it. Come on, let's get it. Klansmen and blue uniforms, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. You want to get a pass to kill black people? Go be a police officer, a correctional officer. Y'all see they killed the dude, was it Robert Brooks? And I'm sorry if I'm not saying the name, but it's just off the top of the head. I didn't realize. A few months ago in New York, dude's in medical with his hands behind his back. You got 5 or 6 officers beating the shit out of him, slanging him around like a rag doll. Let me explain something to you all that never have cuffs on you. When your hands are behind your back and they're going to put them like, you're going to be hog-tied. And they're just slanging you around. Slanging you around. You had several other individuals that was looking and watching and seeing what was going on, and nobody tried to stop it. Matter of fact, you had people that was the lookout people. You had people that was making sure nobody came. And y'all killed that man. Y'all killed that man. And guess what? One takes a plea deal and gets 15 years, man. But if we do something to an officer, man, we subject to get a death penalty. They killed that man for no reason. So y'all gonna give the family a couple $1 million? Killed that man for no reason at all. How am I a threat to you when my hands are behind my back? sitting on a table. You know how like when you go to the doctor and they give you a checkup and they sit you up on the. He's sitting there and they beat the man to death. And some of you weirdos that be jumping in my comments justify that. Well, if he didn't go to jail, man, miss me with that. Miss me with that. Beat that man to death, man. And dude only got 15 years. I'm sure New York has parole. I'm not sure exactly what the, ins and outs are, but 15 years. Beat a man to death, man. It was a bunch of them. Got his hands behind his back. What threat was he? How does anybody even agree to this? 15 years. Yeah, but Kansas, this is where you're wrong, because the black officers up in Memphis, you're not talking about them. Yeah, I've talked about them bitch motherfuckers too. That killed that man over a traffic stop, and really an officer was just mad, allegedly. I'm going to just say allegedly, just for legal reasons, but allegedly he was messing with your baby's mama, didn't want you no more. So you instructed your gang task force to pull this dude over. He wasn't in no gang, and y'all beat him to death. 5 black officers. Beat him to death. Guess what? They need a death penalty. No less than life in prison. So it's not a white or black thing, but typically you're going to see black people getting beat by white officers. But it goes on just period. Okay, Kens, I give you that, but everybody's not that way. No, everybody's not that way. But let me ask you something. If you're working for an organization and you seeing people do things inappropriately to kids, but it's not you, you're not reporting it, you're turning a blind eye, or you just don't see it, but this is the organization that you working for and representing. Are you going to continue to work for that organization and collect your check? Well, it's not me. I understand that it's not me. It's no. You know that you're working for a corrupt organization. So guess what? That makes you just as corrupt. So if you work for the police department and you see all of this police racism and brutality going on, and you work for the Department of Corrections, and you see them just beating people that are cuffed and defenseless, just because you don't partake in it, you're a part of the problem. So fuck you too. Real Kids TV. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment, definitely share, subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, and be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this motherfucking heat, guess what? That's that heat that they was bringing Robert Brooks when he had his hands tied behind his back, cuffed behind his back. You're amongst the first to receive. And y'all send this to @He-Man, HEMAN -E1H. H. As in just H. I don't want to say what I was really going to say. Fuck about no CO. I don't give a fuck about no police, man.